They made some major discoveries with triangles in the last. Alright guys. So I'll tell you this. I mean, to help you figure out what you should ask about. Good, I like it. Some of you guys will look at this practice test over. If you haven't tried the practice test out, you can look it over.
I tried, but
and see if anything looks unfamiliar or like you're going to have trouble with it. Do you have questions left over from the homework? Yes?
when I was doing this, like, I was getting confused with like J.
Yes.
I had confused like whether I should times it by 10, like something. And the X. Yeah. J. The letter J. Oh.
All right, guys. Oh, which practice? Throw another one in there just in case. Cool. I know I did. Well, this is the Chapter 8 practice. Here's the practice test. Here we go. Here we go. What do you need? Chapter 8, probably down there. Let's see if I have one here. There's 11. Yeah.
Hey Jeff, when is the last day when you turn it on back up? The day before this test, you always do the day before the final.
All right, guys. So this, the day of this test, all the homework is due.
This one's coming.
Yes. Say again? Tuesday. Tuesday is the next test. So all the homework for that test is due on that day.
I mean, everything that needs to be made up is due that day.
I love you guys. All right, guys. No test days are a surprise because on the first day of class I gave you all the test days. So stop with the surprise. I don't want to make the test on Thursday because then you can't get the results back from me until the day of the final, which is too late to help you get ready for the final. So of course I'm going to have a day in between when I can give you the test back. And also so we can have a day for final exam review, right? Yes, so on Tuesday I have a practice final exam that I'll give you. I'll have the answer key on Thursday. So next Thursday will be our own in-class final exam review. There's also a final exam review that the Math Study Center is putting on. I don't know who's leading it, but if you want to go to that one also, you can. They should be sending you an email. In the middle of a question with somebody here. So one thing Jackie was suggesting is she said, well, maybe she thinks maybe she should multiply by 10, and if you do, you just got to be a little careful. There's one little silly thing with this kind of problem. Somebody, and this is kind of like what I was telling you about. Somebody help me out. What's 2 times 3 times 5? How do you do 2 times 3 times 5?
2 times 3 and then 5.
Yeah, so what would you tell somebody if they wrote this? Why do you think somebody would write that? So whether they double both of them. How many 2's do I have though? I have 1, 2, so I can either double the 3 or I can double the 5, right? I can't double both of them. Alright, so what's the point? So here, so everybody understand why Jackie thinks multiplying by 10 is a good idea, and I agree. Why would multiplying by 10 help you with this? Get rid of all the decimals. So if you multiply each piece by 10, I'm not going to do 10 times 4 because same reason here. I could do 2 times 3, but actually what's more helpful is if I bring the 10 inside here, isn't it? In fact, that's the reason I multiply by 10 is so that the decimals will go away. So it'll be 4 times 11x 23. Well, that's constructive. All right. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. So I could do 10 times 4, but that would not be helpful, right? This is one term here. This is one big term. So what I'm going to do, instead of doing 10 times 4, I'm going to do 10 times this. The same way I could do 2 times 3 and get 30 like that, or I could do 2 times 5 is 10 and still get freaking 30, right?
Wait.
Same way. Guys, stay with me. So I could do 10 times 4, or I could do 10 times this. Which one is better?
Okay.
10 times this. Why is that better? Because then all my decimals go away.
So the 3 you don't have to multiply by 10 or you have?
Which part?
The equal.
Whatever you do to one side,
You do to the
you must do to the other side. There's no getting around that. You can't put more weight on one side and expect the things to still be equal. Of course it's not going to be equal anymore. I can't make one side 10 times as heavy as it was and expect them to still be equal. I have to make them both 10 times, and then they're still equal.
Okay, but break this down to me. Because you just threw a whole loop in my whole game right now. So you took the what are you doing with the 4?
Nothing.
Well, now I'm going to do, so now I got the 4 still sitting there.
Yeah.
10 times 1.1 is 11. 10 times 2.3 is 23. And then, of course, in the next step, I'm going to bring the 4 inside.
Yeah, you don't apply the 10 to the 4, you apply it to the decimals.
Yeah, exactly. Now, a slightly better thing to do here.
Just apply it to the decimals.
So for the 10, you just do the 10.
All right. A slightly better thing to do. Now listen,
You broke in one spot.
Guys, everybody, listen. Guys, hey, everybody listen. So if I do 10 times 2 times 5, I have a choice I can make. I truly do. For some reason, I just hate the number 20. I never want to see the number 20. I don't have to do 10 times 2. I don't have to. I could do 10 times 5, right? As long as I eventually multiply by 2 also. Does that make sense? I can do multiplication any order I want to. So if I'm going to multiply by 10 because I want the decimals to die, why would I waste it on the 4 and then have nothing left over to go inside and kill the decimals? The whole reason I did anything. Now, with all that said, the slightly better thing to do is to just go ahead and distribute the 4 right now. Before you do anything else, just go ahead. What do you always do first in an equation? You distribute, right? So what do you get after that? 4.4x. A little bit of work, you get 9.2.
Tell me about it.
Oh, it's too bad. Man, just to get a college degree, gotta know math. Just for a degree? Yes.
Question. Do you have to multiply by 10 or is it an easy way?
You don't have to. You don't have to. Yeah, you can keep going like I am right now and just work with the decimals. There's nothing wrong with that at all. The question was about multiply by 10. Anytime you want to kill decimals, you can multiply by however many times you have to move it over.
To make it a non-decimal.
So let me just show you side by side here, just to make my point. So now I could multiply by 10, right? I totally could if I wanted to. Why not? So if I multiply each thing by 10,
Could you just multiply by 10?
that's what I did at first. Yes. That you were here right then, right? Weren't you? Yes. Okay. What do you get? You get 44x, 92, 5x. Careful, it was 0.5, so it goes over once. Now, very quickly, just there. So if I would have done like I started to, multiply the inside by 10, multiply everything by 10, and then distribute, don't I end up with the same thing?
Right, because
Okay.
you're moving the decimal over one spot, which is the 10th spot.
Yeah.
That's where the 10 came from.
So it doesn't matter if you multiply first or if you multiply by 10 second. Of course you're going to end up with the same thing. I like it. So whichever way makes more sense. And like somebody said, you don't have to multiply by 10. Just start putting your like terms together. Right? And just deal with the decimals. If the decimals don't bother you that much, great. Don't kill them. Right? Only kill them if they bother you. Remember, this is math lessons, not life lessons. This is not life lessons.
Put that 10 up there, I'm like, what the hell is he just throwing up numbers? I mean,
I could totally multiply both sides of an equation by whatever the hell I want to except 0. Always, anytime I want to.
do one side.
As long as I do whatever the one side I do, I got to do the other side. It makes it legal. Anything I want to. Just 10 was the smart thing to use.
Get
Yeah,
a decimal as an answer, is that right?
probably. Yes.
Probably not.
If you start with decimals in your equation, there's a really decent chance you'll end up with a decimal answer.
Even if you multiply by
Yeah, because the answer, I mean, now watch. I mean, does this have any decimals in it? No. But if I solve it, 4x equals 10 divided by 4. Right? 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. I got a decimal answer just because that's how things work. I mean, that's the number that makes it work. So I can get decimal answers from anything, to be honest. Okay, maybe.
maybe. Can you help me with 1C, please?
Oh, yeah, okay. 1C is maybe not as crazy as it first looks.
Jeff, is that final answer?
Of course not. But I'm not going to, I already did it all, so I'm not going to say it. Get x by itself, you know that. Yeah. 1C says,
X over 7 equals 10, negative 10 plus 6.
thank you. All right, what's the most obvious quick thing you could do up there?
Add.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
X.
Negative 6.
Now you.
No.
Negative 4.
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Negative.
And then you multiply 7 by.
Yeah, and how do you solve for x? How do you always solve for x? You undo what's being done to it. So what's being done to it? I'm dividing it by 7. So to undo that, I'm going to multiply by 7. That's the whole idea of solving equations is attack it with the opposite. Right?
Is it x equal to 28? Negative 28? Negative. Okay.
So you guys, you know equations. But again, I like that we do it all again in chapter 8 because it's so important. Oh my God. If you can't handle equations, and word problems are in your future, and people hate word problems, and I wish they didn't. But when you set the equation up, that should be the hard part. Solving the equation should be the easy part. It shouldn't be the, oh shit, here comes the rest of it. It should be the, oh thank God I got that done. Now it's the easy solving the equation. That should be the easy part. Setting it up should be the sucky part. Right? 2 trains leave Wyoming. Oh God, here we go. All right.
Can we do please?
Oh yeah, the one loaded down with fractions.
Do that one.
Yes.
The whole thing. The answer.
Well, I did actually. All right, let me do this. It sounds like a lot of you guys have tried this practice test out, which is good.
It's annoying.
What's annoying? I can stop giving you practice.
No, it is. It's just, I can't do it.
Never heard that.
I don't do it right. I did this wrong. This wrong.
You know they have tutoring here?
Yeah.
You should take advantage of the tutoring. They give you 2 sessions a week for free.
What the
Answers.
We've been saying that for days. I know, we've been saying that since like Remind me to do that.
So Sid's got a really good point. Probably one of the points I made on the first day the day I met you guys was when we went over the syllabus and I talked about the 2 tutoring centers on campus that are free and that there's a much lower chance of dying than compared to Craigslist. So it's cheaper and a much smaller chance of dying. Right? Craigslist, crazy expensive. Has anybody ever looked up to see how much it would cost to get a tutor? Have you guys ever looked it up?
Yeah, they're charging like $60 for a session. I'm like, are you high?
Holy crap. Normally it's like $35 an hour or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are free.
There's people like advertising, like they have the little post-it and like you rip one of their little numbers off. I'm like, you're crazy, dude.
So sometimes I wonder if students believe that our expectation of you is, we expect you to be able to do this entirely on your own. Ha ha ha. You know, obviously not. I've got office hours. You don't want to ask me how much I would cost on freaking Craigslist, but I'm free. If you come to my office, I'm free. Come on in. I got chocolate. I eat it all myself because none of you guys ever come see me.
Really?
Here, I got your tier.
It's recorded.
So, a lot of you guys, if you have trouble in math, it's because, and I know you're not motivated to get it, but your motivation is your degree or your aspirations have put you here. And for me, it's really sad because the more the general population understands mathematics, the less you can be duped by whoever wants to dupe you. There are people that know that other people do not know certain things, and then you can be easily duped, right? It's just crazy to me. Anyway.
You guys got a lot of help. Tutoring,
Yeah.
myself, other stuff, and whatever. Before it was nothing. Just do homework and let's see your own.
Yeah, back in the day, we didn't even have a teacher. We just came to a room and the lights didn't come on.
I had to walk to school barefoot.
Yeah.
In the snow, 5 miles.
Yes, uphill both ways. The geography changed. There were major earthquakes every day.
We're talking like old timers, but you guys got it very easy.
Anyway, that's enough of that shit. What do you guys want to do next? What are you going to talk about?
Can we do more conversions?
Wait,
Por favor?
what's up? Number 2, and then...
I just said, can we just do some more conversions?
Well, there you go. Okay, that's conversions. I like it. And you were asking about number 2?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. All right, all the questions I just got were about the same thing. Great. That works out beautifully. All right, so now, you guys, I don't know if I have a copy of this, but you remember that? Here we go. Remember this sheet that had all these conversions on it?
Yes.
It's right out of the book, basically. So, if you're doing your homework and you're not using this, I don't understand you.
Would we be able to?
This is going to be on the test. And then any other conversions I ask you about will also be there.
What about this?
No, the King Henry thing you must know. Does anybody not know what I mean when I say the King Henry thing?
Yeah, we do it again anyway.
All right. Let's start there. Let's start there. And then we'll work up to harder conversions. Okay? What's that? Good. Kilometers or kilometers? Oh, nothing.
Hecto. Deca.
Hectometers. Decameters.
Meter.
Meters.
Decimeters.
Decimeters.
Centimeter and then
Centimeter. King Henry
died.
died Monday.
Drinking
Chocolate milk.
milk.
It's just a way to remember how to set it up, right?
Rey Enrique murió por tomar leche con chocolate.
Oh, okay.
It's not the same scene, so that's
Not the
why it's
same
so much
letter.
more
So.
difficult.
All right, guys. So, and remember, this will work for liters, grams, right? All right. So the reason that it's so good to know how to set this up is because metric system is based on 10. Metric system is based on 10, so every movement I make is going to be changing the number by a factor of 10. So the decimal is just going to move. So when they created metric, they said, we already have a number system that's based on 10. Let's make a measurement system based on 10. Holy shit. And now the U.S. is basically the only country left on the face of the earth that doesn't use metric system. So that's why we teach you guys in case you wander away from the States. You maybe want to know about this. Hopefully you're able to wander away from the States someday. So if, for example, if I had 5,912 decimeters and I want to know, okay, how many decameters is that?
You go back.
From deci to deca, I go 1, 2, that way. So I'm going to move the decimal 1, 2
And that's your answer.
that way. 59.12. That's a hell of a lot easier than converting from from miles to centimeters or something. Miles to inches, that'd be crazy.
You're gonna have the inverters on the test, right?
Yes, yes.
Both sides?
No. In fact, not even a complete side. Just the conversions, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Not this?
So you gotta, okay, again. Why did I tell you about King Henry dying? Because that's a way for you to remember
The
this.
table.
So what you should pick from that is, you have to remember this.
Write the table down so that you can do it on your test.
Yes, exactly. So the minute I give you the test, I would write it down. Yes. Oh, yes.
What is the rule?
Anybody else not get one of these converting papers here?
Monday, what did he have to that? What number is it?
Oh, I just made that up.
Just kidding.
No. I sure won't.
Yesterday we did.
Alright. So, let's do 2 more problems like this, and then we get into what I think should be the harder conversion steps. This should be the easy stuff.
Yeah, as long as we can remember that.
King Henry doing it, that's nice.
Yeah.
So like, if I said, I have, what do I got? I got 0.0913 hectoliters. And I want to know, well, how many centiliters is that? You guys try to do that. Don't say anything out loud. Just for a second, D. I want to...
Hecto to centi?
Hecto to centi, yes. Fainting. You're all sitting down. Alright guys. So it's a you know it or you don't situation here. So hectoliters to centiliters, how many places do I go? 1, 2, 3, 4. That way. So I take the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Much easier than going from quarts to gallons or some bullshit. Teaspoons to quart. I mean, no. Yes.
What if we, like, when we're writing our equation down and we just forget to leave the zeros up there, then it'd be okay, right? Or do you want to?
I probably wouldn't. I don't. If you did this,
Yeah.
you see, that's weird.
Yeah, it does.
If I say how far away you live and you say 17 miles, are you? Is that the time you want to tell me? What is that?
I mean, sometimes the brain.
700 hours. That's what I'll tell you. No, just tell me now. Yeah, exactly. So let go of the O's.
All right.
Yes.
What's the third one?
Where am I at? This? Decameters? Yeah. All right, guys. You feel good about that King Henry thing? Okay. So it's okay. So I will put these formulas down for you. I was thinking about making you memorize them, but there's no point to. So I'll put the formula. You just have to know how to use them. So. Alright. See how these are opposite equations? This is times 9/5, this is times the reciprocal, this is adding 32, this is subtracting 32. That's why one goes from Celsius to Fahrenheit and the other one goes back. because they're opposite equations. Do you have to understand what I just said? No. They're just two equations to plug stuff into to figure stuff out. Which equation do you use if my question is 27 degrees Celsius equals what Fahrenheit? Which equation do you use?
The Celsius to Fahrenheit, the bottom one.
Tomorrow?
Right?
Top one.
Because you're adding 36.
You know Celsius.
Oh.
You don't know Fahrenheit. So you want the equation that's already solved for Fahrenheit. So you want to use this one.
Okay.
Where are you gonna put 27? You're gonna put it in place of,
C.
because it's Celsius, you're gonna put it in place of C. So see how the first equation is already solved? Would you get the same answer if you put it here? Of course, but then you got all this extra work to do. Why would you want to do that to yourself? So you got F equals 9/5 times 27 plus 32. You can just throw it in the calculator. We're past the days that I have to force you to show me your work with fractions and stuff. So, that's about 78.8. No, 80 point, I don't know, it's like around 80. 80.6.
71.6.
What is it?
71.6.
71.6? No, it can't be right. No. All I gotta do is 9 times 27 divided by 5 plus 32. Can't be that hard. What's up?
That's one.
What's happening?
Never mind. No.
Is anybody doing this for me?
All of
36. 36 is 48.6. It's yeah, it's 80.6. I was right the first time. Is that what you got? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Good Lord. If I gotta bust it out, I can bust it out. I was just trying not to. It's late in the day. My brain's hurt. All right, not that bad, right? And again, if you pick the wrong equation, it'll still work. It just takes more time, right? So if I said, is everybody cool with that? I mean, if I said, what, Jeff? If I said,
We never learned this.
did we learn this?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
There you go.
What?
Democracy in action.
No.
122 degrees Fahrenheit equals what Celsius? What are you going to do? Now you know F, and you want to know C, so which equation are you going to use? The one that's solved for C, right? So you can put 122 in for F. 122 minus 32 is...
So this is a formula, right?
So again?
So this is a formula?
Yes, these are the formulas. So 122 minus 32 is 90, divided by 9 is 10, times 5 is 50. So that should come out to be 15 degrees Celsius. Calculator, yeah, exactly. You don't have to do it in your head like that. You can do it in the calculator. Alright. I'm the guy, I'm supposed to be able to do it in my head. If I can't do it in my head, I should just leave my profession. So, it's nothing amazing. Okay, so what about the next level conversions then? So if I tell you that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. Right.
Can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
explain that more?
Which, sorry?
Can you just describe the steps?
Yeah.
How you got here?
Oh, okay. So, here's the equation. Here's the equation. What am I going to put in place of F?
So that's why you plug in 5 over 9 every time.
This is the equation for going from Celsius to Fahrenheit. This is the equation for going from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Yeah.
Do we need to do that?
I'm going to write those on the test for you. So in the second question, I know the Fahrenheit is 122, so I'm going to put it in there for F. Does that make sense? Celsius is C, Fahrenheit is F.
Times it by
So it's 122 minus 32. Now, order operation says you do what first? What's the very first thing in order operations? Very first word. Please excuse my parentheses, right? 122 minus 32. Yes, sir. Yeah, you could distribute, but dear God, don't. Especially on this problem. You'll see why. I mean, 122 minus 32 is 90. 9 goes into 90 10 times. 10 times 5 is 50. Okay. That's where 50 came from, just solving that equation after I plugged the value in. I like it. I like it. So we one skill we should definitely have is if you give me some relationship between letters, I should be able to give you one letter and you figure out the other. I mean, that's how that works. It's basically how y equals 2x minus 7 works to make an xy table, right? Same idea. Okay, is everybody cool about Celsius and Fahrenheit? And you don't have to memorize these. I'll give these to you. Okay. So, if on the test I tell you 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters, I will write this down, but you should know it anyway. How many inches in a foot?